Let's do it.
Sweetie. All right. So to set everything up, welcome to Actual Intelligence. This space is where we explore, what's happening in AI and crypto and what happens when they collide. So today we're diving into the culture of crypto and how AI is kind of influencing that. So AI can now draw, write, joke, remix, write memes. They still kind of suck. But do you think it'll actually be able to participate and drive culture in the future? Can it co-create humor, identity, vibe, create community, bring people together? So we'll explore memes, digital identity, AI avatars, um, how all of this is affecting the attention economy and how crypto kind of financializes everything at the end of the day, or financializes culture. So we're joined by Lucky Boy and hopefully Liquidity God later. And I know you guys have both spent many years in the trenches learning about memes, how the markets move, how culture can become capital. And of course, I'm sure with the rise of AI, you've seen some changes in all of that. So let's get into it. Lucky, do you mind giving us a bit of a quick intro?
Yeah, sure. So, building pets, virtual pets or AI pets, and essentially it's a virtual network of AI agents. So people can use their own compute as a virtual network, and essentially it's going to create an AI network that would outperform Grok and ChatGPT and all these other various competitors without any limitations in terms of compute power. You get data centers, for instance, that have like hundreds of thousands of GPUs and whatnot, and they're throttling the AI agents' outputs and, selling people's data, using people's data. And essentially, pets will just be a very powerful AI network in that sense. But beyond that, the main focus is efficiency. So the AI agents, um, they'll be extremely efficient for trading crypto and just generally have a huge focus on the user experience in terms of just receiving responses really quickly with maximum potential. So, Grok, ChatGPT, they only come back to you with responses um, within a few seconds, for instance. But with our virtual system, which could be up to 10 million GPUs operating at once from people's computers and PCs, phones, whatever it may be, with it providing their compute, you can get a response back within milliseconds. And beyond that, it's not limited to how much information it's processing as well. Like they only access up to 5% of the information or data available with these data center networks. And the other aspect of the efficiency is the integration with crypto too. So these pets can actually trade for you, similar to Griffin, which was like a project incubated by Solana Foundation, first trading agents. But in our case, we're building it on our own layer one called RP1, which is rocket fuel, essentially. And what RP1 does, there's no fees for transactions, and it's instant, like 200 milliseconds across all chains. So that's really groundbreaking technology. And another bit of alpha is that layer one protocol. Um, and yeah, the other aspect of it too is the privacy. So private transactions are becoming a thing now. And your AI agent talking about efficiency and being your pet, essentially, where that name comes from, is it's completely personalized to you. So you can do your own compute or processing on your own device. You can also store your own data locally to your SDK, like anyone's PC or their phone. You can store your own data. You can store your own crypto assets as well. So there's maximum security in that sense. And essentially, talking about culture and communities, we're skinning the pets to various online communities or viral uh, avatars. So we've got Doge Pet for instance, Pepe, Peanut the Squirrel, like all these various viral different communities and tying in the meme coins. And beyond that, with utility for the trenches and the memes as well. So, people can earn passively from providing their own compute to the network and PETS tokens. But they can also stake their meme coins, or practically any coins that are, verified tokens, and they can earn daily yield. And how we can attract tons of users is through it's not gambling because it's not actual money you're putting on the line, but you can gamble your daily yield with other users. So maybe someone is earning up to 5 to 8% daily yield for staking their tokens, providing compute, completing social quests. And you can enter a race or a battle against like thousands of other users, and one user can come out every day earning like 1,000% of daily yield or 10,000% or something crazy, essentially like a battle royale. And this creates like a viral content loop essentially for us to promote the fact someone's made like $1 to $2 million. So it's kind of cool. And how that's sustainable too, we've got a partnership with Visa through RP1, so people can customize their Visa cards with their pets. And we would stake their yield winnings to their Visa card spendies, which is another viral content loop. And another aspect to it is people can earn cosmetics as well based on the assets that they're staking. So these agents are kind of like a flex culture for crypto as well. Like it goes beyond flexing your cars and chains, and you can actually have your crypto pet. You could have like a gold Pepe the Frog or Doge, and that reflects that you have like $1 million staked in the ecosystem or to your wallet, locally to yourself securely rather than a hard wallet, or keeping it on a wallet extension. And obviously you can walk around with your Visa card. You could have a glass Visa card with a gold Doge on it. You could have showcase your wallet on the timeline. And this kind of expands the culture for meme coins, etc., and whatnot too. And then the yield system. So the battle royale yields, some of that will be taxed for the winnings. So if someone's won like $3 million of yield for the day, what we're going to be doing with that, 30% of it is taxed for buybacks for these meme coins too. And we just airdrop people slowly these vested meme coins to attract more of those people from those various communities as well as extra rewards, and do these giant buyback candles on existing meme coins. And beyond that, the Pets network, they learn from each other, from all these users privately, and share information with each other. So they just become more and more efficient. They find inefficiencies across all different chains for arbitrage. You can just ask it, hey, can you like DCA, $10,000 into Ethereum over, a 2-week period, or Peanut Squirrel, whatever it may be, and I'll do that efficiently. What they also do is for all our holders or users, they will also fair launch, like based on data online, because they're always scouring like trends online. So essentially, if there's a new viral meme online, like Moodang or something or other, the Pets will fair launch it and distribute it to all our users. And essentially, it'd be like an automated punt fund model for viral memes. That'll be pretty big as well. And apart from that, we've got marketing plans for new user acquisitions to come into crypto as well, because user experience is one of the biggest things holding crypto back from adoption. So now we have a system where people can easily chat to an AI agent and ask it about crypto, learn about crypto, just use it in general as an agent that's completely more powerful than existing agents out there. And also highly, extremely personalized. And what they can do is yeah, like not have to worry about bridging, not have to worry about gas fees, all these things that just confuse the hell out of people. And yeah, we can acquire new users through promotions with TikTok. We have plans for doing like plushy claw machines as well. So essentially regular normies in the streets or at crypto events can acquire one of those plushies, and then they get hyperlinks to the wallet and off they go. So yeah, there's a lot of elements to it essentially, but I think that kind of sums it up.
Yeah, Lockie, this is sick. This is crazy, man.
Yeah. Thank you.
Very comprehensive explanation as well. Thank you for that. Where are you guys at the build currently?
We're currently building the test net for the SoFi system, so that's nearly done. I can send a link in you later. The AI network, like the virtual compute, is done. There also is an element to it where the pets can start learning and you can start teaching them and personalizing them. So another interesting thing about the tech on that front is they constantly monitor everything you're doing on your web browser, and they can constantly monitor everything you're doing on applications as well, and even like real life conversations, which is kind of scary. Oh, the data leak, blah, 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 but not in this case, right? Because everything's stored locally to your SDK and the pet is completely personalized and everything's decentralized. So it's quite cool. So yeah, those three elements are done, and the actual layer one in terms of, quick, like literally no cost for no wait times for transactions. The RP1 testnet is currently being built. And on that front, we're also lining up a private raise in Portofino. I'm pretty sure that at the moment, the leaders for major token launches right now in this current market, and they've acquired like a lot of VCs and funds. So we should be raising 50 mil with them, sign the term sheet. And yeah, after that point, probably in February, we want to try to do an ICO for like 200 mil or something like that. We saw Mega ETH did they got like 1.5 billion or something ridiculous, and their tech is worse than ours. So yeah, it's just a matter of marketing essentially. But once the testnet and that SoFi system's all polished up for pets on that front, pre-TGE, we can start allowing people to farm the airdrop. And essentially all they do is they go into a social hub that we've designed similar to like Habbo Hotel or Club Penguin, where everyone just chats, chills, hangs out, and trains their pet through an application they can download, or they can just, allow it to run and teach it through their web browser if they don't want to do that. And then, yeah, essentially we'll provide like rare one of one or 1 out of 200 cosmetics to all the various different meme coin communities, and start growing from there, and as well as the guilds as well, of course. And
Yeah,
yeah,
really smart. I mean, best of luck on the raise. I think you guys are going to crush it. Your product is well, there's so many different verticals to it, but I think that it's very, very attractive. Investment for VCs, but also from a retail perspective, I think it's just mega cool.
yeah, we kid.
So yeah, that sounds amazing, man. You've referenced a few times there, sort of, the meme space in general. Is that essentially where you've been sort of you've been for the past 3-4 years? Are you quite sort of in the trenches?
Yeah, so I got into crypto about 5 years ago, and originally I have a background in architecture, so I'm an architect registered in Australia here. Yeah, obviously I'm an entrepreneur before I do that, but I study. I'm very into the creative industry, fashion, architecture, gaming, design, media. And yeah, I was trenching initially. I found SafeMoon, one of the first SafeMoon holders. Thought that smart contract innovation was really interesting, and kind of fell in love with the technology, learned about decentralization. Was inspired by Diamond's, what is his name? Crypto Kitty, the GameStop dude, all that narrative. Diamond
Yeah,
Hands
Roaring Kitty.
model. Boring kitty. Yeah, that's it. Sorry. And yeah, then I was trenching. I worked with a bunch of different meme coins at that point. Logan Paul was in the scene. You know, all these ended up rugging, but I wasn't a founder. I was just like a community member and was just helping the promoter, building up reputation. You know, looking at ways to create things that are viral in terms of like referral systems and whatnot. Tiger worked with him as well, like bunch of random people. And then I launched my own project, and I was incubated by Binance. So that project, you know, I used my skills from my traditional background and built up a poker tournament ecosystem for meme coins. And that was like, you know, based on how good you were at poker. Essentially, you got like cosmetics for your 8 characters, and I played on that branding of APN before Board 8 Yacht Club stepped into the scene. So I like to claim that they copied me a little bit with that branding directions. But yeah, I got incubated by Binance. We went to 300 mil market cap, which is kind of crazy without any networks back then. And Binance invested in me. I worked I worked with Axie Infinity and was advising them in incubation as well, or like, you know, collaborating with them, I should say. CZ was on Zoom calls with me. And I remember the day, like I was in there and there was like 5 other guys who were Chinese at the time, and Hei Ping, I think her name was, the other co-founder of Binance, was like coming into the call, and they were all like, "Oh, you're so beautiful," and like trying to flirt with her and stuff. It's kind of funny. And yeah, at that point, you know, something went wrong. I wasn't the main founder of that project that I had co-founded, and yeah, it kind of disbanded a bit from the other 2 founders doing some dodgy related things. Of course, classic 2021 bull run vibes. And then I, you know, took a break for a year, got a bit shocked by the dodgy actors and stuff. Like I was obviously aware of it from all the meme coin stuff. It was a bit different, more of a GameFi project. We were working with the creators of Spyro, for instance. So I took it very seriously. And yeah, the next year I would, you know, just get people reaching out to me like, "Oh, you're building again, you're building again." Like people recommending me to help other people that they're invested in. And I started not working, but I started having conversations with people that ran launch pads. And I got pretty close to Cedarfire, and Cedarfire were begging me at one point to help a project called Games for a Living, GFAL. And that was the founder of EA. So Trip Hawkins, who just sold EA for 50 billion, so it's pretty loaded now. Now we're strictly working on that. It's a bit of alpha for you, sitting at like under 20 mil, I'm pretty sure. No one knows about it. And yeah, helped them launch that. And they're also working with the team from Candy Crush. So they're doing a Web3 Candy Crush. Should be hyper successful. That model makes 3 billion a year. So they teamed up with King, obviously, King.com. And yeah, they're also talking to Supercell as well. They're looking to get into the space. I'm under NDA for this, but who gives a shit? And yeah, like obviously I'm very into GameFi and just touching base all this stuff. And another project I was heavily involved in, heavily interested in, was ZRun too. It's just where I got a bit of this concept for like NFTs from Axie, Games for a Living, ZRun, and kind of combined it all together to create this like AI Tamagotchi system, essentially. And yeah, that's essentially what I've been doing. Oh yeah, well trenching was the main question. So big trencher as well. Caught peanut at like when it went to 120 mil, that dropped down to like 30 mil, and then Elon Musk and stuff were tweeting like about peanut the Skrill. I aped into that coin, and then 3 hours later, Binance listed it, and like, you know, I made shitloads off that. And everyone online was like, "Oh, he's an insider trader, like, you know, his Binance, blah blah blah." I was like, "I swear I'm not. I just know what I'm doing." And then before that, I was really into Harambe as well, so I was pretty invested there. And yeah, obviously there's a theme of animals, right? And the nuding, blah blah blah. Um, yeah, and then I caught Jelly, my Jelly, caught Trump coin. You know, I don't really trade. I'm not a trader. I'm just someone that understands narratives essentially, and understands like communities and that kind of thing. Yeah, but yeah,
Well,
you know,
that's
in
great to
2021
reference.
when I had, yeah, sorry,
All the main runners of the past couple of years, which is, it's like you say, it's just understanding narratives, right? So,
yeah, literally,
yeah, you killed it, bro. Um, that's amazing. Really, really, really cool. So you understand the importance of community behind, I mean, Peanut and Jane. I would say that the community there was super, super strong. So you want to take elements from all the different communities in which you've been involved in, and then apply that to RP1 and pets, I assume, right? That's the main goal here.
yeah, essentially, yeah, and like, you know, general experience from being a legitimate founder as well. You know, like I've had conversations with all of the biggest KOLs in 2021. Like, you know, you got like Craig Bacoco, Connor Kenny, Big Boy, like all these guys, big players. Like I was in Zoom calls, just chatting shit with them, met up with them in real life. So I'm actually friends with all these big KOLs that no one's tapped into too. And I had to leverage those kind of relationships with people that actually give extremely good ROI and understand that what I build is for passion and I'm not just some, you know, scam artist for a quick buck. Yeah.
Amazing. Do you make content as well? Because I'm curious, you know, when I got into crypto and into the trenches in 2020, 21, more or less, you know, AI wasn't really a thing. It wasn't readily available. It wasn't used sort of across the board, especially in creating content. Whereas now there's so much AI generated content that memes and communities can leverage, right, for to shill on Twitter and on Telegram and all this kind of stuff. I assume you've seen a massive shift in that and change in that as well, where you know the content's so good nowadays.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Yeah, there's an interesting argument. Like I'm still like I use a lot of AI for architecture as well. You know, architecture. I work with like I run a studio at my university with Zaha Hadid. They're the biggest architecture firm in the world, and we're looking at virtual exhibitions for like La Biennale, just the longest standing exhibition in the world. Um, we use a lot of AI for just parametric design, so a bit general content and memes. Yeah, definitely. Like I'm friends with the guys that shit post like spinning cat memes and Glorp and Floyd AI and like all this degenerate stuff as well, just for fun, you know. But I'm also someone that really appreciates like handmade artisan content, you know, stuff that you just make on Photoshop. So yeah, I'm a bit of a mix of both. I'm an old school guy. Like I love things that are um, nostalgic. I think it's a like the emotional response you get from nostalgic content is really important too to capture people's attention, and that's why I've had this tie-in with Tamagotchis, you know, and these like old school devices as well to kind of influence this next generation of technology, you know, because I'm trying to go like I'm trying to pay homage back to Web one, you know, so like Satoshi's original vision, for instance, with the RP1 chain of you know, private transactions, you know, efficient, cost efficient, quick, and you know, on the other aspect of it too is like protecting data and skipping that Web one era of data leaking, etc. But not you beyond that. Yeah, I'm paying homage to it through the exploring what I'm doing through the visual content from that era as well. So yeah.
That's so sick. And I agree with you. I think that, you know, Zane, Senko, who's on this phase right now. He's our creative director, and everybody leverages AI to a certain element at a certain point, but that natural creativity is something which I think can't be beaten, really.
Yeah, it stands out now too. So it's cool.
Yeah, because there's so much AI slop, right?
Yeah, yeah. There's a right time and place to use it. Essentially, very awesome. I love it, but yeah, it's getting oversaturated. You know.
How do you think AI should? Yeah. Do you think culture is like influencing the AI, and then how do you think AI could be used to influence culture, at least in crypto? Yeah, because it is getting oversaturated and it's everywhere, but it's also like a good tool, not just for like graphic design and stuff like that, but also like a lot of people use it for copywriting, creating the like code and all of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, just curious what you think the best way to leverage it to like create
Yeah.
cultures.
Yeah. So essentially we have a a socialify ecosystem that expands beyond our own products into the various online communities that exist too. So I worked on a couple of ideas of creating libraries of various different contents, Doge related, Pepe related, whatever it may be, and allowing people to just efficiently share that content as well, and generate that for them efficiently, based on their personalized library as well, so they can personalize that based on the cultures online that they're interested in and efficiently share it. The biggest problem with marketing and communities right now is people are much lazier than they used to be. Obviously they want to contribute and get involved, but they're not willing to go into Photoshop or Microsoft Paint or whatever it may be and whip something up these days. So I think that's where AI can kind of incentivize through our tokenomics and our ecosystem, but through the efficiency of the technology as well. And the element that you add a layer onto that with is creating these personalized libraries for people to curate and utilize. Yeah.
So you mean like as a creator, give your audience the tools to properly contribute using it?
Yeah. So the user flow for that would be, okay, someone is heavily invested emotionally and financially into Pepper the Frog, and we create a system for them to just type in Pepe the Frog, and then they can type in, you know, whatever they want to, create in terms of like an environment or a backdrop or a narrative in that image or that video that they want to create. And it generates that for them. And then, the second layer to that is actually showing them where to post that. So the AI network would scan trending posts with lots of views or data of trending posts on the timeline. And it would automatically comment that piece of content that they've curated with the AI. And then they would essentially earn tokens as well, because it would obviously feed back to pets as well. It would tag both the meme coin and the pets ecosystem. And it would essentially reward that user based on the metrics that they generate. Like if they generate a really funny meme or something that really captures people's attention because it's relevant to the viral post, and it's got like Pepe the Frog in there and a reference to pets, facilitating that, then they would earn based on those metrics too. So if someone gets like, 1,000 organic likes on that automated comment that they've generated, then they would earn from that, because obviously that would bring us more users to both the meme coin and our ecosystem. And obviously, yeah, they're happy in the process because they're promoting what they've been invested in and earning from it. Yeah.
So it's sort of like a raid to earn initiative sort of thing.
Yeah, that's it. Rating, automated rating.
Really smart, really smart. And then in terms of, you said that you provide them the tools which are already preloaded with X amount of credits that they can generate, X pieces of content, which is then automatically, going underneath, whether it be KOLs or whoever it may be. And then, okay, I understand now. That's really, really smart. I like it.
Yeah. Been cooking.
Yeah, that's pretty sick. One thing I did notice though, everything you described is almost like it's led by you as like the leader of the project, and you're directing people's energy and attention in a certain way. What do you think AI is missing for it to be able to like create its own narratives and like contribute to culture on its own, if that makes sense?
Yeah, I think personalization is the biggest element. So you use AI these days, and it forgets conversations you've had, like it half-asses the memory system that's just completely, trash. So I think people will create a closer relationship with AI when they can trust it more. And that's the biggest problem right now. We've had a lot of propaganda around AI for the past few years about how it's, evil and it's working against you and stuff. So, if we can start to provide AI agents to people and they feel that agent is, just for them and it protects them and it helps them, for protecting their assets to their data, to having in-depth conversations with them where they're not, lacking in terms of memory and compute, that relationship will develop and people will begin to lean a lot more towards it. And then AI can essentially promote itself as as a coexisting relationship with humans. And that's what will really promote it and create adoption at a new level.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. That was a really great answer. Thank you. Thanks, Soccer. Cam, Senko, do you have any questions you want to ask from here?
Yeah, I actually had a question. Because fun fact, I actually studied architecture in university as well. So there's a little bit of yeah, it's super funny. When I heard you say that, I was like, oh, sick. Yeah, just curious. Like you said, you also use like AI here and there sometimes, like at the firm, like in Australia. You said. Just curious, like.
But yeah,
Yeah, I was just curious, like, what elements are you like? Do you use it for like like for example, floor plans? Do you use it anywhere to like assist you in that, or is there any specific like way you use it? I know this isn't related to AI or culture, but I was just curious on that architecture part.
Yeah. So it's mainly concept at the moment, obviously, but we're actually Liquidity God, his dad also owns like the biggest architecture company in Switzerland. So we're looking at also creating as a side project, AutoCAD and making that completely AI automated.
That's crazy. That's exactly what I was curious about. Like, are you guys actually using it to create like, because imagine if you train it on like floor plans and like drawings, right? Like actual drawings, like proper drawings. It actually that would be sick. Like, ask it to like make a base drawing of an entire house with all of the walls, the finishings, and everything all there with the right measurements, and then you can have a human then verify that drawing. Like instead of having a drafter basically in the firm, you could just have AI be the drafter in a weird way.
Yeah, and obviously it would not design or build things that go outside of regulations as well, and structural integrities and environment conditions. So yeah, to be extremely efficient and cost effective for companies and businesses around the world as well.
Damn, that's super interesting. Also, really quick, again on the architecture topic, what was it that you said? I heard you say Zaha Hadid. I was very curious because I obviously know the architect firm, and I also know the person who the actual like Zaha Hadid, the actual lady. I was curious, what did you guys do work with them for? Like, what was it that you worked on?
So when I was in my master's degree, one of my teachers was the chairman of Zaha Hadid, like one of my lecturers. And essentially after the studio, they just invited me to work directly with them because I was very ahead of my time in terms of using AI and, coming up with like futuristic concepts for building future cities. So I collaborated with them on a few fronts, but mainly just running the studio on that research for how we can, integrate AI to create sustainable cities, but more as well on because this was during COVID too, creating virtual exhibitions, so like virtual reality exhibitions, because people couldn't access the physical exhibitions anymore globally. So yeah, that was that. And trying to think what else. Yeah, let's skip my mind. But I also worked with a little bit in robotics, with SpaceX, doing Mars printing for houses on Mars using like clay. That
Oh,
was kind of
sick.
interesting too. Yeah.
That's
Oh,
crazy, dude.
yeah. The other thing is, there's actually a tie to these guys for this project. So the lecturers, the Chin and Zaha, etc. We're looking at creating an ecosystem to replace universities and actually use the blockchain to incentivize and sponsor students through tokens. And, rather than requiring them to pay for their education, it's more of an ecosystem that, we pay people out through tokens based on their merit, based on new research, new contributions, and new ideas, and creating a virtual learning ecosystem around that. Because one of the biggest problems of universities is they actually own the data, the IP, and the assets of everything that comes out of that university system. And these lecturers or leaders in this space believe that that like learning and development would accelerate a lot more if we can create an incentive system around that. And yeah, we're looking at creating AI models actually to replace teachers. So the teachers create their own personal AI agents, and it can actually teach on their behalf when students want to, access more information or learn more when they can't always go to university. Yeah, and they're looking at building a data center here in Australia. Good place to have it. There's no earthquake. It's on one tectonic plate. And essentially, that would be extra computing power for our network for these, personalized agents if they ever, have any issues, just as a backup. So yeah, we're also looking at designing that to make sure it's sustainable, using parametrics to cool down the data centers using the natural forms of the lands, working directly with the Aboriginals here in Australia to make sure that we're not impending too much on the land. So yeah, a lot of elements to it. It all ties together.
Yeah, so
Have you got more hours over there in Australia in the day? How do you feel?
Yeah, they used to call me 8 Arms L back in 2021.
it's hilarious.
Was passionate, It was you do what you want when it's what you want to do.
Yeah, that's sick, bro. That's really, really cool. Yeah, you're working on so many really cool things, man.
Thank you. Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot more, but I mean, just random things. But yeah. Well,
And then in terms of like the it's you, Liquidity God, as well, who of course couldn't make it this morning. And then do you have other members of the team who are supporting the different elements of the project?
yeah, just the developers, you know.
Okay, yes, they're
we've got
outsourcing. Yes.
yeah, they're all in house. And obviously we've got a lot of networks through Liquidity God and myself of different, mission coin communities too, because we're respective degens. We've got someone on the I forgot the name of it. Yeah, we're tapped into all the different various meme coin communities and stuff like that. We had someone from the Trump lobbyists as well as working with us for regulations as well. He was Trump's lobbyist. We had someone that was part of the Royal Wealth Fund, who's running the Royal Wealth Fund in the Philippines. So, was it Philippines? Something or other, one of the Southeast Asian countries. Yeah. And we've got the support from the EU banks as well through Portofino. He's running a private raise. So they have the only deal flow essentially to OTC out to the EU banks that exists, which is kind of cool for our, private investors. And yeah, we've got another bunch of random partnerships floating around too, because another element to the pets ecosystem is creating like a retail experience too when partnering on that front. So we've got like a few big coffee brands that want to get involved with the Visa card cashbacks. We've got like car companies as well, real estate companies. We have the Dubai as well, because Dan Sherligan, who are pretty close to me and respects me, they're also interested in this. And they're on the board of advisor for GameFi investments for Dubai, yeah. And they will provide us partnerships with like major brands. So, we can have like cosmetics for the pets, such as like, a Adidas hoodie or a like Tiffany and Co. charms for the pets. Got Mansory, like all of these kind of hype brands as well. Yeah, so like the cosmetics will be kind of cool for the pets as well. And that would be another viral loop.
So
Yeah. Chrome
everything,
Hearts goggles, for instance, just cool shit.
all these brands, everyone you're just talking about right now, that's all like in the future for pets.
Yeah, it's on the
That, like,
roadmap. So obviously we haven't signed anything,
Yeah.
but they're working Diamond Dreams. So that's their model for the Candy Crush ecosystem that they're building on the blockchain. But they're partnering with major like jewelry brands, for instance, to create like rewards where people can earn them. So I was just like, well, let's expand that to pets. I gave them this idea. They were just going to create their own jewelry with their own in-house jewelry designers. And I'm like, nah, like you guys need to collaborate with jewelry designers and, reach out and expands all those different networks. So yeah, they're tied in.
All right.
That's so
Like,
interesting. Sorry,
yeah.
Alejandro, really quick. Fun fact, I think I might be able to help you connect you on something here. I actually, one of my like close friends in Vancouver, I actually lived in Vancouver for a while in Canada. We actually have a really good tight connection with the people at Tiffany and Co. And one of my friends actually owns a jewelry designing company, and they work with Tiffany and Co. as well. So I don't know if that's going to be of help to you at some point in the future, but if you do need that, let me know. Really good connection for that. Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, like I just think like Tiffany and Co. Charms is like the little meme coin pets would go hard as,
Oh yeah, 100%. That sounds sick. Exactly.
like,
And that guy, bro, that guy's super cool. He's really chill. I think you'd like him. And yeah, his dad has a jewelry design company as well, and they're very tight with Tiffany and Co. And they design like classical jewelry, but he's a really chill guy, and he'll be super like down. And I think he also like trades, and he's kind of in the trenches as well. Like I'm not as much. I'm pretty new to Web3 actually. Fun fact, but he's I think you'd connect with him pretty well. But yeah, something to think of. Maybe you'll need it.
yeah, very nice. Yeah, they're one of the major brands that I want to team up with just for that little simple concept. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just gonna ask, like, how long, how far into the future are you looking at here with all these partnerships and everything? Because I see like you're still on testnet and all that, right? Like what's the
Yeah.
roadmap looking like for first release?
Well,
And
the
with
the
all the
AI
partnerships.
network is like 90% done. Everything for pets is, we want to clean up the content a little bit more and, make it perfect before we start sharing it around and promoting it, obviously.
Right.
But all of these partnerships, they can roll in and be activated really quickly. So I plan to launch Pets Token and RP1 like February, March. And, prior to that, just have a lot of hype building up during January and February while we complete these private raises. And now it's like all the different VCs involved and all the networks that are partnering with us. But yeah,
Right.
I'm not really in a rush either. Like, I don't care when I launch this as long as everything's lined up well.
Right. So
Yeah.
just lining everything up though, like you're thinking next year, like have it like Well, it's the end of the year, right?
Really?
So,
Yeah, Q1, Q2.
oh wow, okay, that's
Yeah.
amazing. I thought this might have been a little further out, but it sounds like you guys are really
No, yeah, everything's built. We just need to promote it, and I don't want to do that till everything looks perfect. Right now, the visuals look all scrappy, but the back end of everything's all done. Yeah.
makes sense. Yeah, I was
Yo, Alejandro, we lost you. It sounded like you died.
Yeah, there's a few more degenerate elements to it too, like bets trading, for instance. You can do perps through the pets user face. And RP1, it can actually leverage all the existing liquidity. So we can have like, Asta, for instance, got tons of hype because they have 1,000x perp leverage, but we can do 10,000x, which is completely degenerate, retarded. So interesting.
10,000 X. Oh my god.
I mean, it can go higher. It just matters, depends if it works. Yeah.
That's
And yeah,
can the pets trade for you on perps, or is it only on the memes?
yeah, perps, memes, stables, everything. And
Really?
it's
Wow.
quicker than anything like that exists out there. Like, and it literally has zero fee costs. So yeah, it's kind of crazy. It's literally the next generation for the blockchain on one front. And potentially the next generation of AI too, because we're not throttling it with only 300,000 processors in a data center. It has the potential to have like 100 million. It just depends on how many users there are. And we have the incentive model or the flywheel to actually create that too. So, you know, closest thing to a quantum computer.
Yeah, this is built to scale to a really, really high level.
Yeah. Yeah. And in terms of just GameFi technology too, it's like, everything's in real time because of the RP1 technology. So yeah, like it's just going to have adoption on all fronts, like from retail payments to, GameFi to just general trading, even to the banks, transferring money securely, privately, efficiently. So yeah. So pets is just a layer for the user experience and user acquisition.
Amazing, dude. And then in terms of for listeners to find RP1, obviously the social presence isn't there at the moment, right? So
No,
where would be the best way to do is to follow yourself, and then you will amplify all the sort of news and updates in terms of the launch and the socials and all this kind of stuff.
yeah, that's right. Just follow me and I'll announce it. You've got the or they can search up RP.1, like 0ONE, and that's our website for now. It needs a few tweaks, but they can read up on the technology such as the white paper. We've also got the Socialify system that's been half built on pets as well. And yeah, they can take a look at that. The AI system will be integrated into that within the next week. Yeah, I think the RP1 white paper is a good thing to read up on, and the pets, the deck, you can find that in the Socialify game as well if you want to read up on that. I'll put that in my bio as well. I've put the website link there.
Please do look. I think that you've built genuinely the next big thing, and that's like not blowing smoke up your ass. I think it's very, very impressive what you built, and I for one really look forward to seeing what happens in Q1. I think there's going to be a lot of attention to the ecosystem and from a marketing perspective as well. I think that both yourself and Liquidity Gods, your personal networks will be able to drive a lot of attention over to those channels. So this has been great, man. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks for the feedback. Compliments. Been really thinking about it. And that's the goal. Build the next biggest thing, Axie Infinity went to 30 bill. And yeah, surely Pets will too. Solana went to whatever it went to, and surely RP1 will too.
Yeah, I think that market conditions are very clear at the moment, right? We all know that it's not the best shape, but I still believe that Q1 is going to be hopefully positive. And if you can sort of align the product launch and the token and the TGE with some relatively positive bullish sentiment, I think there's going to be real success there.
Yeah, definitely. It's all about timing. And we've got the KOL networks, we've got the communities all tied into this ecosystem. There's nothing else really like that. And we've got the next generation of technology that's powering it. So, why wouldn't it pump?
Love it.
Well,
All right. Anyone want to say anything else before we wrap this up?
No, all good. Thanks for sharing all the alpha, Lucky. It didn't go unnoticed
that's
from
awesome.
you can't be out here enjoying it. Yeah.
few little gems there that I'll have to listen back on the recorded and get them saved to my watch list.
Yeah, nice. If you want any conversations, yeah, let's do it.
Love it. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for hopping on, Lucky. Really do appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for
Just
having me.
quick plug. Sorry, our next space is going to be next Monday, the 29th, and that'll be with the Soros. So we look forward to having them on the space. Lucky, thank you so much again.
Thank you. Nice meeting you.
Cheers, fellas.
You too.
Have a good day.
Cheers, man. Have a good one.
You too. Sure.